Ladies and gentlemen, giving out the key to the palace. For the Jazzy Fusion Production. Sean
She like me, I kinda dig it, so I did my thing for her. She joined in with me, now we getting groovy, hotter than jacuzzi, so shorty won't you slow down? See them other fellas, and I ain't hating. They try to do it like it ain't the same. Front to back, shorty side to side, and
Let me marry him. I need his brother. Hey, it's your it's your girl Nay, coming to you with another episode of As Told by Nay, the podcast. Tell a friend to tell a friend, and let's talk about it. Lena, am I live? Okay, because I heard it in there, but I don't hear anything happening in here. Okay, all right, that works.
Hey y'all, happy Thursday. It's your girl Nay coming to you with another conversation on As Told by Nay, the podcast. I am here with my girl Erica.
Hey.
I know I had another lineup for tonight, but we're just going to postpone that until a later time. I wanted to bring you guys part 2 of the conversation that we were having with you all yesterday. Let me just go ahead and put out a disclaimer right now, though, because I got a lot of backlash for last night's performance that we had.
It was genuine.
And, you know, it really was just an impromptu combo. I was feeling myself a little bit. It was a lot going on. And I just needed to vent, you know. So tonight, we're going to run it back a little bit with a little more detail. I did some research today. And I'm going to be a little more politically correct, if I may, on this As Told by Nay platform. Okay? All right, great. So yesterday, we had a lot of good feedback. I want you guys to keep that same energy. And in these comment sections, let me know what's good. So if I had to give tonight's conversation a title, I would call it Paper Plates. And again, this is just piggybacking off of the conversation that we had with you guys last night. If you missed that convo, it is on my page. So make sure that you click on it. Listen, we were on there going for like an hour and a half. So we're not even going to do the excuse me, come again questions because I just want to jump right into this conversation with you guys. A little more structured tonight. And let's talk about it. You ready?
I'm ready.
All right.
I'm eating.
I don't got no food tonight, but she got her food.
Always.
But
there's always a little sippy sip.
What we toasting to tonight? Let's give a toast before we get started. I just really want the sugar to go down some.
Oh, there you go. Oh, but now I look tall.
I feel like a giant. Okay. So toast. What are we toasting to?
I am toasting to enjoying my sanity in singlehood.
Cheers to sanity in singledom. Singledom.
Yeah, we can work with that.
Singledom. Because right now it's not happening.
No.
Y'all crazy. And I got a lot of feedback in regards to, Nay, y'all was male bashing. Y'all was talking about the dudes. Y'all was this, y'all was that. So let me just say this. When I talk about the trash that is the dating scene, I mean men and women. It's not just men, but I'm speaking to the males because I'm a woman and I'm not trash. So for me, the disconnect is happening with y'all. So that's where we are with it. Let's get right into it. Trashy traits and dating trends that need to end, cease, go away, stop doing this. That's what we're talking about tonight. carrying over from what we were talking about last night. This is the season for love. You know, on As Told by Nay, we are talking about relationships and connections this month. This is a big part of it. Y'all always asking me to talk about dating, so let's talk about it. We're going to talk about it. So boom, before we get started though, I see a lot of people tuned in on Facebook. If I could get you guys to log out, go over to YouTube and click on the live link on YouTube, it would be greatly appreciated. Just search As Told by Nay. You should be subscribed to my channel by now, and if you're not, do so tonight. And watch it live right there. You can comment in that comment section as well. And we're gonna talk about it over there. Please and thanks. Love y'all. So, trashy traits, bad toxic dating trends that need to end. You gave me a list of a couple that I was not even aware of, first of all. And we're going to get into it, okay? So, breadcrumbing. We're going to start right there. Breadcrumbing. Can you please let the people know what is breadcrumbing?
Honey, the breadcrumbing is the Hansel and Gretel. I'm going to tell you what you want to hear, just enough to keep you. And then, when it's all said and done, I don't back it up.
Okay. So, lies.
All the lies.
Breadcrumbing is lying.
All the lies.
So you feed in bits and pieces to get
just
them
to
interested.
Keep you there.
Okay.
And then you disappear anyway.
Breadcrumbing. Why do we do that? Why the breadcrumbs, guys? And this goes to my females
as well
and my males as well. Breadcrumbing. Why we do that? What is the point? What do you think it is? First of all, have you ever left breadcrumbs? And just think, I'm not even talking about like right now in your grown woman.
Right, when we got our stuff together.
We got it together. Even before ever, because we're not just starting to date right this moment. So have you ever left breadcrumbs?
That's a good question. Now I really got to think about it. Because I didn't start dating till, I would say, like last minute possible in high school. I didn't want to be bothered with the significant other, having the attachments and the stress. But I don't feel like I have had an opportunity to breadcrumb. I don't know if I would even know how to do it. Because when I am in something, I am in it 100%. If you have my energy, you have it to the moon and back.
Okay. Let's talk about it. So for you, no. I could probably say that I was breadcrumbing when I first started dating.
Okay.
I didn't really start dating until I left for college. So for me, I was a little naive. I was a little green. Then I got up there in Tallahassee and lost my damn mind. But it was a thing where, because my mom was very structured and strict on me when I was growing up, so I didn't really have the chance to date. So when I got to college, I didn't even really know what that looked like. So I think I was breadcrumbing on accident, telling people what they wanted to hear, just because I wasn't even sure if I was able to deliver. But it sounded good, and I wanted the attention, and I wanted to keep the person there. So I would, feed into this and that. But it wasn't like a purposeful, like, I'm doing this to hurt your feelings type of thing. I feel like now, with this generation, the breadcrumbing is intentional. Y'all are doing it to hurt. And I don't
You're
like
very
it.
aware. There's a difference.
I
think something that we have to acknowledge is with breadcrumbing, you have to know, the person has to know that they're doing it. They know that, oh, this female is losing interest, so let me take her out. Let me fly her out, take it to this nice vacation.
Right.
Obviously before COVID times, but take her on this nice vacation, do all these things.
Right.
So that she's still an option on my roster. Where if you're not aware that you're doing it, it's not with malicious intent. Breadcrumbing is malicious intent. You are being self-serving in that process. Okay.
So it's being malicious. So I wasn't breadcrumbing. I was just naive. And
you were learning how
out
to
here trying to get in where I fit in. You know what I'm saying? Trying to figure some things out. Okay, so breadcrumbing. We don't like that. Moving on to ghosting. Because we're going to circle back to all of this stuff. But right now, I'm just giving you guys the definitions of what we're talking about. So ghosting. Please, let the people know what it is that is ghosting.
Ghosting is when you are in a situationship, a relationship, a committed, monogamous something or other. And you just decide one day that you don't want to return text messages, phone calls. You don't want to stop by. You don't want to go on dates. There's excuses. And then all of a sudden there is nothing. There is no communication whatsoever. You just disappear.
You like become Casper.
All the way.
But this case, you're not the friendly ghost, because there is nothing friendly about this.
This would be like,
Like, have you ever seen the Casper movie with the other three and they was like bullies and mean?
Yes.
That's the kind
of ghosts they are.
Kind of ghosts y'all are when y'all do this. Y'all hurtful. But we're going to get back to that too. Okay. So then cushioning, because this was really new for me. Explain what it is that is cushioning.
Cushioning. First of all, cushioning is a misnomer. We are not going to play this game. Cushioning is cheating.
Okay.
Cushioning is when you are in a full-fledged relationship and you feel like it is appropriate to, maybe, I don't know if I want to be in this relationship anymore, so I'm just going to start talking to somebody else. I'm going to give them my energy, my time, my space. But I still have, oh boy, back here, my committed, I'm in a relationship, that's my man. Cushioning is cheating.
Cushioning is
highly
cheating.
Unacceptable.
So I wonder where that name came from, cushioning. Why is it cushioning?
To soften the blow, girl.
Because
if you break up with dude that you've been with, you don't want to be alone. You don't want to go through that hurt. So we are cushioning the pain.
So cushioning for me.
Cushioning that pain. It's
That's
messy.
Crazy.
It's selfish.
That is really nuts.
It's disrespectful.
It is. I don't like that. That's a new one for me. See, that means I don't cushion. I'm thinking about it.
Hell no.
Okay. So, and the last trashy trait that we're going to be discussing tonight, transforming. Motherfucking Chris Brown on y'all. Because this is, I'm telling you what you want to hear because you told me what you wanted. And then when I get what I want, I become a completely different person. Whole 180 from who you thought I was.
Right.
Transformers. Robots in disguise. Yeah. So that's where we're at with it. And we're going to keep it going. So boom. Trashy traits. Simply put. All of that is trash.
It's got to go.
Garbage. We're done with it. 2021 needs to be a new era because all of this right here is causing chaos and craziness and stuff that we don't want and that we don't need. She dropping facts. Okay, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. So, okay, we're going to go back to the breadcrumbing. Is this ever appropriate? And I'm asking you guys too, is breadcrumbing ever appropriate? She just broke down what breadcrumbing was. Basically leading somebody on. You're lying about your intentions with them. And you're leading them on. Is this ever appropriate in dating? In our age, and disclaimer, we are talking about in between the ages of, let's say, when you're supposed to be intentionally dating.
So like anywhere between
late
20s, 28
to however old, because people are still dating even in their 40s and 50s, and they're running into this same thing, which is crazy to me. I will never understand it. So in the late 20s until, is breadcrumbing ever appropriate? What you think?
I think it would depend on what you're kind of how you're establishing these relationships. If you're openly dating, meaning you are dating multiple people because you are not exclusive, it's not monogamous, and you're trying to see what this person's willing to put up with, how far you can push those boundaries, like what is this dynamic going to look like? Breadcrumbing can be a little bit more common. Because, I kind of pissed Shorty off today. Let me go and fix this real quick. Got to do a little something to bring her back. And it can be a way to kind of keep that dating going.
Okay. So in my personal experience, I feel like I have seen breadcrumbing and cushioning done simultaneously. Like they work interchangeably.
Okay.
Where it's like, I'm breadcrumbing you to keep you here for now, while I figure out what I'm doing over here with Shorty. And then once I've secured this bag, now I can go ahead and drop you.
So that's all three of them.
Ghosting, breadcrumbing, and cushioning all together. You're right. Because then after you do that, you don't hear from him anymore.
At all. Because he's figured out what he wanted. But he couldn't communicate that.
And we're going to definitely get into communication later because communication is the whole point of all of this. This is why we're even having this conversation. How did this come about? I've been having dialogue with some of my really close girlfriends over the last however many weeks. And, a lot of my friends are dating right now. They're trying to get back out there. They're trying to figure out what this whole situation is for them because there's a lot of amazing women that I know that are single. And we just trying to figure out why, what's happening, where's the disconnect, what's going on. And what we find is these trashy traits. And I can only speak from my experience as a woman and the experience that I have with my girlfriends that are women. But a lot of the fellas was getting on me to say that this goes both ways. Y'all go ahead and chime in and let me know what's up though, because again, my understanding is just from a woman's perspective. Because
a heterosexual female relationship.
Heterosexual
we are dating
female
men.
Facts. Let me be clear. So yeah, this is where this is all coming from. And we're just trying to find the disconnect. But here's the thing. Collectively as a generation, and when I say generation, I'm extending beyond the generation because we're talking about, again, late 20-somethings
and
on up.
It doesn't stop.
Why? How did we get here? What is going on? How do we fix this? Because this is nonsense and it's crazy. It's really crazy. Because what happens is you're breaking people down. You're breaking hearts unnecessarily, and hurt people, and the cycle continues. So these trashy traits, and the biggest of them is ghosting, and we're going to get to that in a moment because I put a poll out on both Instagram and Facebook about, fellas, because I asked y'all last night and y'all act like y'all couldn't answer me. Why do we ghost? So we're going to do ghosting in its own whole separate situation. But before that, I want to talk about this transformation just a little bit, because that's another one that I see a lot in my my dating experience. Is that I'll be very upfront in the beginning because I feel like communication and being honest is the way to be.
So important.
The thing to do. It's like, hey, this is what I'm looking for. This is what I want. This is how I see my future. Put it all out there on the table. This is the kind of guy I want, and he'll be like, yes, I want that too. Things. I can be him. I am him, as a matter of fact. And I'm like, okay, great. Bells, whistles, unicorns, rainbows. Let's do this. We're in it to win it because we have the same goal. And then all of a sudden, let's fast forward months down the road, maybe even years down the road. And there's a switch. So don't get it twisted. Transformation is not something that's immediate. This is something that happens. It's a slow process. It happens over time because you get comfortable. You feel like, okay, I got her where I want her, so now I can be garbage can juice again.
But what
I can really be me.
What if the transformation, and this is just me playing devil's advocate, what if the transformation is these men want to be all of those things for us because they do see that we the table, the food, we are everything.
Everything.
And then as they realize they can't keep up, that's when the mask starts to come off. So not that it was to hurt us, but they were dishonest with themselves and with us, which then led to, okay, yeah, no, I can't keep up. I can't do it. So I'm going to change back to what I know what's comfortable. What if that's the process? Maybe.
And I can see that.
Okay.
I could definitely see that. But see, that's that thing called communication.
You know how I feel about communication.
That we're going to talk about later. We're definitely going to dive into communication because I feel like as a grown-up, you should be able to say, hey, lady, I think you're amazing.
Correct.
But I'm not what you're looking for, but help me. There's a lot of women out there, and I know I've seen a lot of memes lately, like, oh, we're not fixing these niggas no more. We're not
I'm
on
not
this
the
whole,
vet, don't bring the dog to me.
Right, all of that. And I get it, ladies, because we've been through so much garbage before, and it's like we're just not doing it anymore. But how do you guys feel, and I'm going to play devil's advocate, if they came to you initially and said, hey, I don't have it all together, but I think you're the bomb, and I want to grow with you. Teach me.
That, first of all, let me be honest. That, honestly, if a man approached me with that, I would clutch my pearls and don't even know what to do with it because it doesn't happen.
It doesn't. You're right. It's not common, as my boy Slick would say. It's not common.
It's not common. It's a rarity.
It's a rarity. But I feel like if they were to say that from the beginning, it may be a different situation.
It is a different, because now I feel like, you know what, you have said what I need to hear so that I can make a choice.
Yes, young man. Let mama learn you something real quick.
It's about choices. You cannot decide something for me, jack up my feelings, and think that I'm going to be happy.
That's
when you finally say, like, or don't ever say, yeah, I can't do this.
That part, because that's more often than not what's going to happen. They just going to be like, all right, I'm good. I can't do this.
Picking fights, finding reasons to remove themselves from your life. Yeah.
That would be a lot better along the road if they communicate that from the start. Facts. So, ladies, I want to pose a question to you. What are some reasons why you would do any of these trashy traits? Why are we breadcrumbing? Why are we ghosting? Why are we cushioning? Or why are we transforming? because cushioning is common.
It is very common.
I'm seeing it, wrapped into some of this other stuff, but once you explained it that way, it makes so much sense because I have seen that a lot.
Mm-hmm. Where we have
with that multi-dating.
I'm
thing,
in a relationship with someone. I've been with them for so many years, and I care about them, but I don't want to be with them anymore. But dude over here, he's got my attention, so let me just give him a little bit of my energy. But women, we are the receivers of men's energy, and when we are trying to juggle all of that, it gets chaotic for us, and they get to walk away and they're okay.
Right.
But we are the carriers of all the shenanigans.
That makes a lot of sense. I guess I didn't look at it that way either. It affects us more because we're the carriers.
Mm-hmm. We receive all of their energy.
Just trash. The dirty, nasty energy that we don't need. You guys,
trash juice.
I want to fight all of the men right now, the whole species. And no, this is not attacking all the men. I know some great guys, some amazing fathers, some amazing boyfriends, husbands, all of that. But the majority of y'all
struggle.
We can do it out. Because y'all
need to get it together. Appreciate a good thing.
Okay.
In regard to just
growing up, afraid of becoming a better person. Is that what you mean? Because I can see that from someone's perspective. Like, I'm out here being trashy because the thought of being committed to one situation or, being a different person scares me. I'm not ready. But see, all of that just ties back into that beautiful word. And I'm going to have y'all reciting this with me before the end of tonight. Communication. It's an amazing thing. Me, for one, I love it. I love to talk. I like to have understanding. I like to get clarity. I'm going to ask questions.
Girl, that's the therapist.
Right. I'm asking questions because I want to know. Why do you think the way that you think? Why do you feel the way that you feel? Talk to me. Because I'm just trying to understand you. I'm just trying to love you. Let me love you. Love. And see, this is all about love. I don't want anybody to feel like I'm attacking or I'm bashing. I got a lot of that
last night
saying I was male bashing. I'm not. I'm trying to get an understanding because, again, I know some really dope people that are single, and this seems to be the trend that our generation collectively is trash. The dating pool is trash. And I'm definitely going to get my boy Vince on here next week, and we're going to have dialogue back and forth, male and female. So I definitely wanted to have another session with my girl Erica in regards to just how we feel as women in dealing with this, because people ask me all the time, Nay, why are you single? You want to know why? Here it is. And I'm going to put it point blank period for all of you guys that are watching, because I have so many people that are asking. I'm single because I want to be single. I'm single because this generation is trash. And I'm single because I have not yet found someone who is on my same understanding of life.
Commitment.
Longevity
in relationships.
Longevity, stability, consistency.
Marriage.
Communication.
The steps we follow.
You know what I'm saying? And people will say, well, are you looking for that right off the bat? Are you looking for your husband? No. I don't want to be married tomorrow. Not even next week. I don't even want to be in a relationship tomorrow or even next week. Right. But I do want to have someone in my life that we are on the same page, working towards the same goals, the same understanding of what we want. And when that time comes that we make the decision to make it a situation and be together, we did it together. Right. And we did it because knowingly we went into it intentionally to grow together. Intention.
So often we're doing things, we're kind of the passenger in our own car instead of being in the driver's seat.
Okay. And what is a way to get better at communicating? So this is good. Great question. And I appreciate that. What is a good way to get better at communicating? Trying. Write down. If you have a situation and you feel like I'm not good at expressing my feelings, I'm not good at letting people know, what I'm thinking. Try writing it down first. Look at it. Reread it. Is this what I'm really trying to say? Let me take this out. Maybe that comes off as kind of mean. Oh, I didn't really mean this way. This might be perceived wrong. Let me make some edits. Write your thoughts down. I journal a lot. So now it comes to the point where, and I've been journaling since I was a kid. So now when I want to talk about the way that I feel, it's easy to verbalize because I'm so used to writing down my feelings and knowing how to say, and shout out to Sharon, because my mom encouraged that as a kid too. Use your words. Say how you feel. Tell people what you want. Nobody can read your mind.
Absolutely.
So as an adult, that shows. I'm able to do that because I've been doing it for so long. So try writing. Try journaling. Try writing down how you feel. And before you approach a situation, say you're mad or upset, somebody done pissed you off, write down why you're mad at first. And then convey that to them. What do you think? So writing is a good way. What's another way to work on your communication?
Well, coming from a more, like if we're looking at it from a more therapeutic perspective,
Mm-hmm.
there are so many different aspects of communication that we need to acknowledge. We have the verbal side, but there's also that nonverbal.
That's right.
You have to know how to read the person that you're trying to communicate with. And this obviously would work best if you can see them. So that would be the face-to-face communication.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be, if you're on a FaceTime call, something like
Yeah,
that.
I love FaceTime calls.
They're great. These are,
Let me see you while I'm talking to you. I need to see what your face is doing.
these are opportunities that we have that we didn't have 20 years ago, to FaceTime call someone and read their energy,
Right.
see them shifting in their chairs. Now, again,
Mhm.
face-to-face communication is best. We want to read the body language. You want to see that eye contact.
Mm-hmm.
You want to see the facial expressions. Are they tapping their foot? Like what are they doing?
How you feeling over there?
Right. But it's also how we are communicating what we're trying to say. It's
Mhm.
the words that we're saying, mean what you say and say what you mean. But pay attention to your tone and to your volume. If I'm yelling and saying the sweetest thing, it's not going to sound sweet. So we all have to be aware of that, because so often we're raised in homes. Like I know my mother is a crazy Latin. I love her to death, but she does not know how to speak lower than a 5 sometimes. If I can get her to a 3, it's a celebration. She's just loud. So sometimes those messages will come across like, Mommy, why are you yelling?
Right.
I'm not yelling, but Mom,
Is your mom a Virgo?
whatever Beyonce is. They have the
Oh,
same
yes.
birthday.
So she is. Because I was just about to say, that sounds like me. Because my family and friends always tell me, girl, why are you so loud? Why are you yelling at me? I'm not yelling. But it's because we're passionate.
You are very
We're
passionate,
passionate people.
but it's still something to be aware of.
Right.
Because you're not always yelling.
Right.
Like we can have a conversation, it'd be just real chill.
Right.
There are times when I'm on 10, and today she told me, talk up, because you'd be whispering. I didn't even know I whisper.
Right.
Like I learned something today.
Probably because I'm just loud.
Right. She out louds me. That's what it is. But those are things to also pay attention to. If you're trying to work on communication, you have to kind of be introspective and, well, how do I communicate with myself? What am I saying to myself? Am I loving to myself? Because it's hard to express that to someone else if you don't know how to do it to yourself.
These are the facts. These are the facts. So let's get back to this ghosting, because I really want to talk to you guys about some of the reasonings I was getting from these guys of why they
do tell.
ghost. So let's get into that real quick. Somebody said, it's not what I want first. Where's the first one I got? Boom. She's crazy.
Who crazy?
We ghost if they're crazy. I said, well, what does that mean?
Is this before or after you put your penis inside?
Hello, because that was my next.
Okay.
I
Okay.
said, so did you make her crazy though? How can I make her crazy? With your penis.
Mhm.
With one of these trashy traits, the breadcrumbing or the transforming or the cushioning.
Mhm.
What happened? Why is she crazy? Because 9 times out of 10, you did it.
And if she's
He couldn't
crazy,
answer.
was she crazy before? Because again, we have this saying that don't put your dick in crazy. But if you are continuing to pursue women who, because we're talking about, as the two of us, two very intellectual,
Mhm.
well-spoken,
Yes.
direct women. But if you're going after these hot messes,
And we're gonna talk about that too.
because they exist, and I'm not, coming down on anybody. Live your life how you live your life. But if that's what you're chasing after, and then you're calling that woman crazy, well, you sought it out.
Right. Your fault.
Because it takes 2.
To tango.
Okay.
Mhm. Okay. So another one I got was, and I thought this was pretty funny. She started asking for shit. All of a sudden, a bill is due, and she don't know how she gonna pay it. I thought that was pretty funny because someone else had mentioned last night about how we started labeling them as free meal, and then that's when the ghosting and the crazy stuff started.
Okay.
They started treating us crazy because we started labeling them crazy, and I can get that. You know, if you're talking to a girl and she
Mhm.
realized you got a little coin, and now all of a sudden her kids ain't got no lunch money,
Right.
or the light's about to be cut off, she ain't got no gas. I get it. You know, that is a reason to kind of fall back because clearly Shorty is just after, you know, what she can gain.
You're
And
an ATM to her.
there's a
You are
lot
not
of women
person.
out there like that. So I'm sorry, fellas, of you that are, you know, have had to deal with that.
Mhm.
But I think that's a pretty decent reason to kind of just fall back. Especially if you've already told her, like, hey, I'm not your ATM.
Right.
And she's still trying to get you to be her ATM. Yeah, you might want to ghost that.
But then that ghosting is a little different because he's already communicated. The problem with ghosting is there's no communication.
Right.
If he has said, like, yo, I got your kids on this day. I'm going to feed them. However, I am not paying your bills because when I don't live with you, we are not on that level of a relationship. We have just started dating.
Right.
That's different. Ghosting, in my eyes, really means it happens when
They don't say nothing.
you guys will be here one day in our beds, eating our food.
Hello.
We doing the laundry, like we are damn near living together. And then you wake up and literally disappear.
I mean, and not even, it don't even have to be that deep. Because you ain't got to be at my house because I'm not washing your drawers if we don't live together. I'm barely cooking for you. But if we have, if we've had an established situationship, because that's what we're going to call it,
Mhm.
it can't possibly be a relationship because you can't just walk away from somebody like that
Right.
that you truly cared about. And we
Mhm.
learned that last night.
Yeah.
Big up to those men that could
That
actually,
contributed to that.
you know, agree to that. If you can ghost somebody, you truly don't care about them.
Right.
So if you're in a situationship with a person for longer than 6 months, I don't care how close it is, y'all kicking it on the daily, y'all talking all the time, y'all hanging out, y'all having sex,
Mhm.
and then all of a sudden she can't get a call back, a response text, you ducking and dodging, that's a ghosting.
Yes.
That's a ghosting. So don't get it twisted. Be like, oh, I can't ghost because I wasn't in a relationship with her. No, we're not even talking about that.
Mhm.
If there's any bit of understanding from 6 months on, because 6 months, that's a long time to be fooled up with somebody.
Especially not to say like at our age, but yes, at our
Age. Facts.
Because there are things that we would like to have. We're not hurting without them, but we would like to have.
Mhm.
And each time we start these new relationships, it's okay. So now you're holding my uterus hostage
Hostage.
because we're not pogo sticks on these penises. Like
Right. We're not
Pick
bouncing.
one. I engage, drop that, move on to the next. But it can't be that you just gonna have my whole okay.
Okay. So another reason that I got
Mhm.
when I asked about this whole ghosting situation, clingy. When she's too clingy, like always want to be up under me, know my every move, need all of my attention all the time. I can understand that too.
Mm-hmm.
That can get a bit annoying for
Yeah.
sure. But again, nothing that you can't talk about. But for someone to be like, I deaded it because it was too much for me. I guess I can understand it. Is it appropriate
Mm-hmm.
to each
But
his
even
own?
with codependency, where did that start? Was she codependent before you? Did you miss the red flags of that codependency? And if it developed after you, what did you do that contributed to it? Not that it's your fault,
Right.
but was it that you had somebody else texting you at 3 a.m. talking about when you coming through? Because that will make any female crazy. Why, what is this? Explain, because now you got to wake up. I don't care what you're doing, wake up. I don't care what you're dreaming about. Wake up and explain this.
Talk to me.
Because you're not going to get no more sleep. We ain't sleeping tonight.
Clearly you're not tired.
Mm.
All right. And somebody said consistency, asking for money,
Okay.
and we've only been talking for a week. Bashing all men because of one that hurt her. I can get that too.
Yeah.
Because a lot of women do that. We carry our
We generalize.
stuff over to the next situation
Mhm.
all the time. And that's not really fair.
No.
I can understand that. Again, these excuses that, reasons that these men were giving me, I can understand, but they can all be solved with, say it with me, communication. Talk about it. Tell these people what they're doing wrong.
Mhm.
I don't understand what is such a big deal about talking about the way that you feel, letting people know when they're doing something that you don't like
Mhm.
or when something is turning you off. Have a conversation.
Mhm.
Have a conversation. That's all. So I thank you guys for participating and giving me feedback. But again, It's all a communication thing. It's just something we need to talk about. So I kind of want to move into a little bit of hidden agendas.
Ooh, okay.
Because this kind of goes into those trashy traits that we were talking about as well. And I definitely had this dialogue on yesterday with those of you that tuned in. When you have girlfriends and wives in the background, or you have children, people are really out here lying about having kids, but okay. You have kids, or you're multi-dating and you don't say anything. All of these things are considered hidden agendas. Why? Because the person that you're dating does not know. Hey, guys, this is my advice to you. Let people pick their poison. There is no reason why I should go into a situation with any man and be forced to be a side chick. It's ridiculous. We're too old for it. Stop doing it. There's plenty of women out there that like being side chicks, so let them be your side chick. Don't force me into no situation where I'm your side chick.
They're happy to be in that lane. It's less responsibility.
I'm not a good side chick. Your wife contact me, I'm telling. All
the
your
details.
girl contact me, I'm telling. Because I didn't know that I was a secret. I didn't know that I was sharing your penis. That's me. Hey, you talk to such and such? Sure do. Who's asking? What are we talking about? Right. Don't make me no side chick, because I'm not one. Never gonna be one. Not trying to follow those rules. Don't do it. There's a lot of women out there like me, and that's a lot of times why y'all cars be keyed up, windows be busted, tires be flat. This is when y'all like to call people crazy. But see, the thing about it is, you're not allowing people to choose what they want. There are women out there that's cool with all of that. Everything that you want them to be, they'll be there. Go get her. Stop forcing these women that are looking for longevity into your pocket, because you got other things going on. And that goes with that multi-dating thing too. I think that is the most simple way to be honest when you're multi-dating, because it's a thing. I get it. People go into situations where they're like, I'm talking to this person and this person and this person because I'm trying to figure out what's good for me, where I want to be at. I get it. But tell people that. Right. If someone asks you, blatantly asks you, are you dating other people? The answer needs to be yes. There's no reason to lie.
And there's nothing wrong with dating.
Because there's nothing wrong with it. But maybe I don't want to be with someone who's multi-dating. Allow me to not want to be with you, though. Allow me to not want to go through that. Because what happens is, and I had this conversation. I'm going to answer you in 1 second. Let me just finish my thought here. I had this conversation. Hey, Slick. I had this conversation with a couple of people when I, first entered the dating scene or whatever. And it was just kind of like, when you're dating 2 and 3 people, there's always going to be one that you like more. Of course. There's always going to be one that gets more attention. You vibe with, right? Now you got to break the hearts of the other girls. Now, maybe you're that person for them. They feel like it's amazing. They feel like it's great. They feel like they're getting everything they need from you. But you over here vibing with Jessica a little harder than you are with Regina. And now Regina heartbroken because she liked you. And you like Jessica. Stop doing that to people. Because in her mind, I wouldn't even got fooled up with you if I would have knew that I was in a competition. Right. Other women don't care because they're probably multi-dating as well. But give people a chance to say, this is what I'm okay with. This is what I'm not okay with. Slick says, y'all tell these men, y'all talk to other men when y'all first start talking. Yes. If I'm doing that.
If that's what's happening, absolutely.
I have tried to multi-date maybe like twice in my life. It don't work for me because I got a short attention span. Okay.
It's a lot of juggling.
I'm a therapist. I'm dealing with everybody else's life all the time. So when it gets to my life, it needs to be simple. I need one person. It needs to be clear cut, well-defined, boundaries. It needs to be simple. I need to be able, that needs to be my peace of mind. My family off rip is my safe space. I have some amazing friendships. Those are my safe space. If I'm inviting you in as potential to be my man, this needs to be my safe space. I can't spread that between 2 and 3 people. And Slick, shut up, because for me, this is real. But again, I know a lot of other women that don't operate like that. I know plenty of women that multi-date. I have people that have told me, Nay, you need to multi-date because that's how it works. But what works best for me in being able to juggle my busy life is one person at a time. And that's just how that works. I have even been in a situation where I'm one person at a time. He was not. He was talking to other women, but he told me that in the beginning, and I can respect that. Thank you for letting me know that it's a competition.
Because I'm going to win.
I've never been an insecure female.
Ever.
I've never felt like, because what's for me is for me. So if you got another situation or and you're honest about that with me, okay, cool. I'm not worried because what's going to happen and what's supposed to happen is going to happen regardless. I'm a firm believer in that.
I'm not chasing you.
Not doing that. So what's supposed to happen will happen, and we just going to go with it like that. But when you do that whole multi-dating thing and keep it a secret, that's not fair. It's not fair and it's not right. Another thing that comes along with that, and what I'm seeing a lot now, and I've heard this scenario from so many people, is that with the multi-dating thing, because you dealing and dabbling with all these different women, somebody ends up pregnant, right?
Oh, for joy.
And now you got to tell the other girls that you got somebody else pregnant. And in most cases, y'all haven't even told them that y'all was dealing with anybody else anyway. So when this baby comes, well, how? How did this happen? When you're only sleeping with me.
Right.
You're only spending time with me. You're only talking to me. Where did this baby come from?
Surprise. It's immaculate conception.
You over there messing with Mary. That is crazy. That is nuts. I will never understand it. It's no reason for that.
No.
Now you just created a whole situation for what? When you could have been honest and upfront in the beginning. I'm talking to you and Shorty. This Shorty over here pregnant. Okay, well now I know and I vow gracefully.
Yes. Have fun, raise a child.
Do what you do.
Do the best.
But now my feelings ain't all crusty because I knew.
Right.
You told me in the beginning.
Versus, what do you mean you having a baby? How?
How?
When
that happened?
Help me understand.
I'm not pregnant.
So you mean a baby that we was just talking about?
What? What?
Where'd this baby come from?
Because I'm not pregnant.
The stork brought it.
Oh, these people. And let me tell you this. I'm going to say this one time. Y'all people out here with these girlfriends and these wives, stay out my inbox.
Oh,
please. And thank you. Don't do it. It's not right, number one.
It's disrespectful.
As a woman, I just feel like that's so disrespectful.
That's so disrespectful.
Relationship is one thing, but definitely marriage. Like, if you're married...
Y'all sign a contract. It's a contract. You are saying, like, I don't care about this contract.
What did you get married for?
Was it
y'all
for shits and giggles?
Like, y'all are really crazy.
Oh my God, I don't know what to do. Let's go get married. And heaven forbid you spend all this money on a wedding. Because, some girls are very comfortable eloping, going to the courthouse,
right.
cool, knock it out, buy a house. Some of them really want a big pomp and circumstance. And you won't be in somebody's DMs.
So I want to kind of bring up this whole commonality thing. Because Slick brought this to my attention last night. And I have to say, I sat back and I thought about it. And I really agree with him. So I want to share with you guys, for those of you that were not participating in last night's conversation.
Y'all missed out.
Y'all definitely missed out. Make sure you go back on my page and watch that. But he was talking about how common the trash is.
Oh, yes.
And how rare the good shit is. So he was basically saying, like, honesty, real men, people who know how to communicate, like, all of this is rare. It's not very often that you find these things because people are not like that. But what people are fake, manipulators, selfish. They're going to try to get what they want. They're going to do what they feel like they need to do to get that. And now you got all of this breadcrumbing, ghosting, cushioning, transforming, all this stuff comes because of that, right? It kind of goes into where people are saying, there's this saying now, hoes are winning. And I would have to agree with that. And I kind of want to touch on this last comment that this guy had said about the whole ghosting thing. And it made so much sense to me because it kind of speaks to that. And he said, ghosting to me is a result of the whole social media experience. People appear and disappear with the click of a button. And back in the day, we had to go out and meet someone new. Nowadays, you start and end your relationships with a button and as a two-dimensional image. It's much easier to cut off a picture than an actual person.
I like that.
Right.
Whoever said that, good job to you. He was really articulated that real well.
Live the whole conversation.
And it's so interesting because I personally was not on social media for like 10 years and I didn't miss it. And then it was a board one day, like, all right, let's do this.
It's a lot.
And within 3 months, it was gone again. And then quarantine happened. It was gone all through quarantine, and it recently came back. Ask me what I do with it. I don't know what to do with it.
Because people be bored.
I don't
But
know what to do
also
with it.
what comes up with social media, and Slick said this too, you tend to focus on everybody else's stuff.
It's the
a lot of
highlight
people.
reel versus the practice. So I
You see
heard
what's
this
going
quote
on.
years ago. And somebody said social media, you have an addiction to negativity and an allergy to positivity.
Mm.
And I was like, yes. Because the things that we see on social media, think of, some of these larger platforms where they post something that is meant to get the comment section going about, oh, why'd she wear that? What's he doing? Why he spending his money like that? But we are not acknowledging that regardless of how or what they're doing, they did it. So let's celebrate the accomplishment. We don't have to agree with it, but that was their choice.
Right.
They want to spend their money on, I don't know, a diamond in the middle of your forehead. Sir, that is your money. Do with it how you will.
Thanks.
It's not hurting me. That was the money in my pocket.
Like I said, I remember talking to somebody and found out he had a baby with someone after the baby was born by my mama. We were just dealing, not in a relationship, but apparently the girl lived in a different state from him. See? Multi-dating. He was dating both of y'all and just did not feel the need to be honest that there was another person. And that is really nuts to me.
The babies be getting us the most.
The babies is really...
That is something you
can't take that back.
Nope.
You can't take that back.
There are things that you can catch and, you handle. Like a dog that goes out and catches some fleas, you fix the fleas. There's an antibiotic, you take care of that. You cannot do that with a baby. I mean, you could, depending on your choices and where you stand, but a baby is here and it grows. And sometimes for women, it's okay, they're having a baby, but it's not a real thing till the baby breathes its first breath outside of that mother. Now you got to deal with that because, wow, he really had a baby. A whole baby.
A whole baby, not a half a baby.
No.
A whole baby.
10 fingers, 10 toes.
That is something that you don't even play with either. You don't tell nobody you about to have a baby. You really not about to have a baby.
What are the rules of the April Fool's jokes? We don't joke about death. We don't joke about babies. What else we don't joke about with the April Fool's joke?
That's it for me.
Those are the two.
Don't
play about being pregnant and don't play about somebody dead.
Because that's not funny.
Those rules apply all year long, though.
It's not funny. It's not funny. So that all ties back into this whole idea behind the paper plate theory. With the hoes is winning type of thing, and somebody was saying it too in their reasoning for ghosting, where you have these women that are out to get something. They want something from you, whether it's your money, whether it's your image, whatever you could do for them. You have all these women on social media that are blitzed and glammed. They don't look like that when they wake up. They're getting their bodies done. You can see all types of people and how they're living their life at a click of a button. It just seems really nice. And you got this woman at home that's a real woman, got her shit together, is working on her future. She sees you in it. She has you a part of the situation. And you want this paper plate. You have the fine china at home. You have the real deal. And you want something fake. Why? Because it looks good. It got colors on it. It's like, what?
It's easily accessible. They let you take it out more. The fine china, we don't take it out every day. No. Is that what it is?
You got to earn that.
It's got to be a special occasion to bring the fine china out. So is it because paper plates are so
common? Like my boy Slick said.
Thank you, Slick.
Paper plates are common. You can go in any store and get paper plates for $1. Any store. Doesn't matter. There's no competition. You can have it. It's there. Easy. Whereas fine china,
you got to spend a little money.
You got to
put some effort into finding
you know
what you want.
It's a different situation. It's quality. Quality over quantity. Oh, remember that, guys?
You can buy 100 paper plates for 50 cents.
But that fine china. The paper plate theory.
It's an investment.
Get into it. No, don't get into it. Get out of it, because it seems like that's what's winning these days. Like you have women who are out here busting it open for the smallest thing. I remember when I first started my podcasting stuff, and before I had got down with No Stream Studio, there was a guy, and I'm just like, hey, if I record this on my phone, save it, can you help me do like some editing and He's like, yeah, sure, come over, vibe with me, let's figure this thing out. I get to his house, he's doing edits for me. Okay. And he like, you trying to smoke? You trying to drink?
No, sir. No, thank you.
This is a business meeting. What are you talking about?
Turn that light back on.
Oh, you thought I was about to bust it open for some edits? Oh, you got me fucked up. But truth be told, there are women that have busted open for some edits for him, for some pictures, for some,
but they think that that's what they have to do. Let's take it back.
Or not even. Maybe they want to.
That's
There's
true.
a lot of women out here that they just busting it up because they're a part of this whole hookup culture too. It's not just the men. Men act like that because women allow them to act like that because they do it too. Let's just be honest about the situation. Women really choose who gets the cookie. It's up to us. If it's no choice, it's rape. So we really choose who gets the cookie. So if a guy is used to, okay, I got a camera, I got studio equipment, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, and this shorty want to be a rapper and she busted open for a feature, and this girl right here wants to be a model, so she busted open for these edits, or this girl right here, I actually kind of like her, so I'm going to take her out on a date, and she busted open for the surf and turf. So now you meet Nay and you like, all right, we three in the hole, what you got, what you want from me, and what I'm gonna get from you? This coin, because I'm going to pay for my services
and walk out
and be done with it. But they feel like it's appropriate because it has worked for them in the past. Ain't no man going to do something that has not worked for him.
They're creatures of habit.
They're creatures of habit. Men are very simple at the end of the day. I know I'd be like, oh my God, you guys are just so complicated and this and you're that. But really, y'all real simple. Y'all real simple. It really doesn't take much. So when it comes to how y'all treat us, it really comes down to what y'all have had in the past. And some women want sex just as much as men.
Absolutely.
And a lot of women want sex just as much as men. But it's all about how we're willing to do that. And you guys are just used to hookup culture. And it's been ringing all day today. It's hookup culture. Nay, the answer you're looking for is the hookup culture. This is the hookup culture. Read the red flags. Learn who you're dealing with, because some people are really just out here just to get it. And that right there is where the whole communication piece comes into play. Because then you have women that are not wanting to be a part of the hookup culture. And we're kind of being forced into it and getting dead end after dead end after dead end because you guys are breadcrumbing, cushioning, transforming with these hidden agendas. And it's not fair. You're creating a cycle of broken hearts for no reason.
Right. And we have to acknowledge that the hookup culture is not new. It has just exponentially grown because of social media. The hookup culture was around when Woodstock was a thing. Like it's been here.
Not Woodstock.
Yes. People's parents, their grandparents, they've been doing all of this hooking up, the sexual liberation. It's a thing. But these one night stands and social media. So we've got all these dating apps that are geared towards hooking up. Oh, I'm traveling to Miami for the weekend. Let me open Tinder or whatever other things exist so that I can
date. That's a motherfucker right there.
And then I'm going to go back home to where, and now shorty down here, well, I hooked up with her, didn't realize the condom broke. Oh. We literally made a whole baby. Boo-boo. Or she caught something. Nasty. Some things you can't fix. There are super bugs out here these days.
Not super bugs.
Super bug gonorrhea. Look at us. Nasty. So it's not new, but like I think it was Slick said, social media has contributed significantly.
Amped it up.
It's a click away. Ooh, what do I want to do today? I don't know. Maybe I want to get laid. Scroll, boom, found her.
And it's gonna happen.
And
it's gonna happen.
Has she been tested? Have you been tested? These are the questions.
These are things you guys need to do together. Because and again, I just kind of wanted to come back and just have a more structured conversation about this because last night definitely was me just on a whim, ranting and raving because life hits and life is crazy and things happen and you just have to grow from it. And, I have a situation that I'm learning to embrace for what it is. And in the meantime, I just needed to talk about, some of these trashy traits that happen and why good women are in the situation where they're constantly dating and hitting walls and dead ends and not really have an understanding of what's happening because it all goes back to communication. We have got to learn to communicate, guys. Like at the end of the day, that's really all it comes down to. If you're not ready or you're afraid of your feelings or you have these situations where, you're dating other people and just whatever your situation is, convey that from jump. Stop trying to deceive people. If you're just looking for a hookup, Be honest about that and let people decide if that's what they want. If they just want to be a hookup or if they want to actually have a situation. If you have grown past the relationship, it's not what you thought it was, it's not what you want anymore, say that and let her go. Is she going to be upset? Probably. If y'all been rocking for 6 months, 7 months, 8 months, 9 months, a year and 6 months, whatever the case may be.
Right.
But you are entitled to feel like you're over that chapter in your life. But say that. Don't ghost her. Don't lead her on in breadcrumb. Don't cushion the blow as you go and find somebody else and she's over here thinking shit's sweet.
Right.
It's not fair. And now you just broke her heart for no reason. Slick pointed out last night about, okay, how many times have you had your heart broken? There's 100 men that you need to go through before you find the one, and the needle in the haystack and all of that jazz right there. And I hear you, my brother. I really do. But I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. And I have learned that moving forward, my whole thing is what works for me is asking questions. I'm going to ask. And if you get irritated with it, I'm sorry. If I want to know, I'm going to ask because we finna talk about this. You're not going to leave me on. And then 8 months later, I'm heartbroken and sad because what?
My time has been wasted.
My time has been wasted. I'm
You
getting
can't
old.
get time back. We
I'm
can get our
getting
money
old.
back.
And people be like, oh, Nay, you're still young. You're not getting old. Yes, I am. Mentally, physically, I still look young, but okay. I want to be a mom.
Okay, thanks.
I want to be married. I do see marriage in my future eventually one day. And I don't want to be 60 running behind a 3-year-old. I don't want that. That's clearly just an example, but I'm just saying, like, there's things that I want to do and timing, all about timing. Am I rushing? No, I'm chilling. I actually am enjoying singledom.
It's amazing.
It's nice. It's nice to,
It's
come and go as I please and not have to check in and not have all of the pressure of these relationship goals and all of that stuff. It's really nice. But eventually I do want to grow with somebody. I do want to have a situation that leads to my happily ever after. But, again, no rush. But in the meantime, I'm just trying to help y'all out. Stop hurting people. Stop breaking their hearts. Stop making people go through 100 to find the one. For what? Just be upfront in the beginning so they can go on about their business. Period. That's it. Stop being a coward, as my good sis Bree said last night. They're doing these things because they're cowards.
Say it with me.
Right. Be honest and just communicate your feelings. Again, what you want, the hookup culture, everything that you're doing right now, bopping and hopping. There's a lot of people out there that's about that. So find you one that want that and stop messing over the good quality fine china. Get your paper plate from the beginning out of Walmart, where the common folks shop.
According to Slick, okay. We don't have anything against Walmart. It's very entertaining.
I shop at Walmart, and I actually resent being called common, but it's okay. It is what it is. But no, on some real, y'all. I just wanted to come through, have this dialogue with Erica again because I got so much backlash about the way that I presented it last night. It was all for shits and giggles, guys. I love my men. I love my men folk. I think you guys are amazing. You make the world turn. We need you. I need you here, but I just need you to not be trash. Stop being garbage can juice. If you don't want Nate to talk junk, stop being garbage can juice. That's all I ask. Treat people nice. Talk to people nice. Say what you want, mean what you say. Happily ever after. The end.
Okay.
Just like that. Any last remarks, closing remarks, anything you want to add?
You ended it with the end. I feel like there's nothing left to say. Like, that was that.
I'm just saying, I gotta get it together. So there's that. Again, got my good sis Erica here to have this dialogue. Thank you so much for coming through again and having this conversation.
This is fun
with me. Thank you guys for tuning in per usual. Keeping the comments live. I really, really appreciate y'all for that. And we'll be right back here next week for another conversation on That's Told by Nay, the podcast. Again, this month is all about relationships and connections. I'll have my boy Vince coming through next week to kind of have another dating dialogue with me, but in retrospect to men versus women type of thing. We're gonna get this understanding of what this is supposed to look like sooner or later. So yeah, meet me right back here next week so we can get into that. Get Dreamer is still available for purchase on Barnes and Nobles. Hit me up if you have any author dreams. I know exactly who to link you with. If you need studio space to do a podcast or you got any, just hit me up. I'll get you right with the right people and y'all can get it in and do what y'all need to do. Until next week though, y'all be easy. Let's talk about it.